Sports in Syracuse. Outside the Box Score with Mark Rowlands starts right now.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Josh Boheim joining me as always here in the studio. Good to have you, Josh. No Braylon today. Braylon unable to make it. Wouldn't surprise me if he was just unable to drive.
Yeah, I almost didn't make it.
Yeah.
Walking up the hill today.
Yeah, so full disclosure, obviously people know there's 2 feet of snow outside. It's an absolutely miserable day.
Yep.
They have not plowed the parking lot or driveways to the studio yet. So getting in was impossible. We both had to park on side streets and walk.
I was debating after I had gotten stuck. If I would have gotten stuck, I wasn't coming in today.
Yeah.
I was out. I was out. But I was like, I call Mark or I just text him, I'm not coming. It was too close. And then I'm like, no, I'm just gonna walk.
Yeah. We're both tired now.
Yeah. Took far too long to regain my breath.
Oh yeah. It was a dredge of, it's uphill. There's a foot of snow.
It was tough.
Yeah.
I'm just worried about wiping out, falling my ass on the way down, on the way down too now.
That is something that I had not considered and now terrifies me. But welcome everybody. We've already got Pat screaming in the chat. No justice, no peace, respect the Big East.
Okay.
All right. I'm all in on that. We're going to do a lot of tournament talk today.
Yes.
I was thinking maybe the original inception of this show was us on an app called Colorcast, and then eventually on Twitter Spaces just doing picks.
Yep.
We were a gambling show. I think so. I think there are some picks to be given today because this is, it's a gambler's dream, March Madness. Everyone loves it. There's so many games to bet. You can have 8 games on all at once, and you got action on all of them. It's fantastic. So I think we're going to talk some gambling today. We are also going to talk about Syracuse women's basketball. They're playing 3:30 this afternoon against Arizona, first round of the NCAA women's basketball tournament. 6 seed Syracuse taking on 11 seed Arizona. Winner of that game faces UConn.
Not only do they get to face UConn, but they also have to play a play-in team.
Yeah.
So they play a hot team, like what people are always worried about. And then if they manage to win, they get UConn.
Yep.
Pretty tough.
It's terrible.
Tough.
Syracuse couldn't have had a worse draw.
Yeah.
So that game is we'll just start there. That game is currently at a pick'em.
I don't like that.
I don't like that one bit.
But I guess we haven't seen Syracuse in what feels like almost a month.
I know.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And they didn't look good the last time we saw them. Honestly, I don't feel good.
I don't feel good at all. Arizona, I saw a thing. I believe it was Jim. Shout out Jim, who's always in the chat. Said it. 2 of their losses this year were 1 possession games to South Carolina, or something like
Arizona's
that.
were?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, it was USC. I'm sorry, not South Carolina. USC.
Still a 1 seed in the tournament.
But yeah, still 1 seed, and 2 of them were 1 possession games to Southern Cal.
I love the following of the women's game here, Jim. The only thing I need like a Ken Palm for women's basketball to look at. I need to know stats stuff. I know nothing.
Is there a women's Ken Palm?
I mean, I'm sure there is one. I don't know what the subscription price looks like.
Yeah.
If there is one for that, but I just don't know enough about the teams that Syracuse doesn't play throughout the season. So I have no clue. If Daisha Fair can be, not guard, like if they don't have good guards to protect against her, I guess I like it. I like Syracuse, but I just don't know.
They do have a net ranking.
Okay. What do we got?
So I got to find. So I'll just find Arizona here. What's the command for find?
Control F.
Control F. That's what I thought. Arizona. Arizona is 35 in the women's net rankings.
Pretty high for an 11 seed. No?
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Syracuse is fittingly 44th.
Okay, so it's Arizona.
Yeah, it's just Arizona.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Don't get your hopes up, SU fans. Maybe have it on the second TV. of a couple TVs, maybe the third.
Arizona,
And,
they're an 11 seed. They went 17-15, and they're 35th in the net ranking.
well, I mean, it's probably those two close losses
Yeah.
to the best team. And the Pac-12, I guess, Stanford also in the Pac-12 for
Yep.
this year.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they play pretty good competition out there in that division.
Yeah, Stanford,
conference.
UCLA, Utah is top 10, or they're 11th in the net ranking.
Yeah.
Colorado, Oregon State. Yeah, the Pac-12 is just a women's
So
basketball
they're just
conference.
a middle team in the. They're basically like, well, the committee thinks they're like a Clemson.
Yeah.
But also like an A&M,
Mhm.
Utah State, TCU, one of those teams that's just really
Yeah.
good-ish
Mhm.
in a very competitive conference.
Yeah, so it's one of those things. Just looking at this, Syracuse went, what was it, 23-7 this year? Yeah,
Mhm.
23-7, and they're 9 spots behind a team that went 17-15. All of the net rankings are malarkey.
Ugh,
Men, women, doesn't matter.
not Kim Malarkey.
No, it's Mulkey. Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
Malarkey.
She's getting in some hot water recently. Apparently,
Always in hot
well,
water.
yeah, she's always in
What'd
hot
she do
water. She's
now?
annoying. I saw some reports that like there's a big like expose like in the works right now about Kim
Against her?
Mulkey. Yeah, it's like the Washington Post or
The
something.
team likes her though. From what? Well, I mean, from the outside, maybe they
Yeah,
don't inside. I don't know.
I don't know. No one else likes her.
Right. I mean, definitely, probably bad person, good coach, which could happen.
Yeah, we see that all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think she's kind of badass. Like for a women's coach. Like,
Oh, yeah.
she's definitely out there, very vocal,
Mm-hmm.
kind of exciting for the game.
Oh,
Whether you
very.
like her or not, it's good to watch just to root against her.
She's Danny Hurley.
She's yes. I thought you said she's dating him, and I'm
No.
like, whoa,
No.
Dan Hurley's going way old. What is he into?
But no, she's Danny Hurley in the
Yes.
women's game. It's loud, obnoxious. A lot of people don't like her.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same.
I like that comp.
Yeah, thanks. I felt good about that one. LSU 8th in the net ranking, by the way, since we're going back to all the women's net rankings.
I mean, I know people filling out women's brackets.
I got a women's bracket.
Ugh.
I have Syracuse in the Final Four.
I don't.
Maybe not the Final Four, but the Elite Eight at least.
I have I mean, I know people betting on South Carolina women yesterday. They were minus 50.
Minus 55.5, and did they cover?
No, they won by 52.
Ah,
Presbyterian hit a last-second 3 at the buzzer in the first half.
I
Never a doubt.
yeah, I saw that. Sorry, I was looking for my women's bracket. There it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, I saw that spread 55.5, and I was like, they're just begging you to take Presbyterian,
And it worked.
It worked. I really thought that Presbyterian was not going to cover.
They kept it shockingly close in the first half. Like, I mean, they still lost by like 17 or 18 in the first half.
Yeah,
But that's
pretty good
close.
against South Carolina if you're Presbyterian.
Yeah.
They got a tough matchup in the second round. South Carolina's got North Carolina. Battle for the Carolinas in the
They
second
played well
round.
yesterday against Michigan State.
Yeah.
I actually watched that game because it was they only had the women's tournament on one TV at this bar. There were probably 35 TVs.
Mm-hmm.
One of them had UNC Michigan State.
Is it the normal bar that you go to for tournament time?
No, we went to the one we've been to, BTB now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yesterday. Split them up. You know, I'm at a bar for 20 hours in 2 days. I got to go to 2 of them. 3.
Yeah, that's very fair. Yes, I do have I have Syracuse in the Final Four.
Mark,
for
I was being
the women's
ridiculed.
bracket.
Well, we're on a little bit of bar talk here.
Mm-hmm.
I was being ridiculed yesterday for leaving the bar at 8:30 yesterday.
What time did you get there?
11:45.
Yeah, you're fine.
They were like, "We just got here. You gotta stay." I go, guys. I've been out at bars for almost a full day in 2 days. Yesterday it was 11:45 to 11:30 almost. Today, yes, and so 2 days ago. Sorry,
pulled a 12-hour shift. Yep.
Yeah, and yesterday was a solid 8.5, 9. And I'm like, guys, I'm exhausted.
Yeah,
I've only been. I got rides both times, being responsible,
as you should.
and
Always
I was
be
like,
responsible.
we got it. I mean, I can't do it. And I'll be honest. What killed me, the vibes were dead after Auburn lost. My entire day was ruined.
Mm-hmm.
I had no bets on the game necessarily that ruined it. Nothing like that. They were my tournament team.
Yeah,
they're
they're
big brain, whatever. There's no stat in the world that could have told you Yale was going to win that game.
none.
It just happens. Of course, their best player gets ejected
Yep.
4 minutes into the game.
Yep.
I've never seen a kid get ejected for that.
That being called a flagrant 2
Right?
was poor. That's just poor. That was it. If you want to call that a flagrant 1,
Sure.
fine. That's fine. It probably was.
Yes.
Tossing a kid for that, ridiculous.
Crazy. For those who don't know what happened is they're basically on transition back.
Yep.
So he's getting back on defense, a kid from Auburn, and he kind of gives a shove into a Yale player. Shove, maybe a little bit of an elbow to the chest.
Yeah.
Just for fun, really. I mean, just to
no
show
reason.
just to show him we're from the SEC, bud.
Yeah.
Flagrant 2, out of the game.
Out of the game.
Best player on the team.
Mhm.
Their captain. I mean, it was crazy, so crazy that you almost forget about it. And then I'm watching the highlights last night before I go to bed, and I go, yeah, he was ejected. I go, they lost their best player. I go, what is happening? It was crazy.
Jim's calling it a brutal elbow. That was not a brutal elbow. There was an elbow, but I don't think you toss the guy in. It's March.
I get the only justifying thing for it is that it was completely unnecessary.
Oh, for
And
sure.
I understand that. Calling it a flagrant was necessary.
Yes.
But to eject the kid 5 minutes into the game seemed a little crazy to me.
I agree.
And again, no bets on Auburn, no bets nowhere, other than tournament team, but that's not,
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. But that's crazy. It was a crazy thing to see in my mind.
That's March, baby.
That's March. And then Nebraska, they killed me.
Oh, yeah.
Having to just watching, I mean, Tominaga, that kid, for as electric as he was during the regular season, boy, did he let me down.
Didn't he start 3 for 3?
And then he went 0 for 6 in the first half.
Ooh.
He was ice cold.
Yeah.
Ice cold.
Yeah, I missed a good bit of that game because
Good on you.
I was out for a couple hours. I didn't stay out long.
Texas A&M, has a chance against Houston. They looked so good the other day.
Mm-hmm.
They're terrible at the 3-ball, by the way. That was the other thing. Talk about stats, whatever.
Yeah.
343rd in the country in shooting threes. They're
Ooh.
very bad. Almost 30%, less than.
Ooh.
They shot, in the first half, 70% from beyond the arc. They
Wow.
finished the game at like 60%.
I did not realize that stat.
They were ridiculous. I mean, watching them nail contested 3 after contested was so demoralizing. That one, I mean, it just kills you. I've already been drinking. I'm like, guys, I gotta go.
I gotta go. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the morale's at an all-time low.
Yeah.
Shout out. And Jim brought up in the chat. He goes, that Oakland guard likes to shoot threes. Shout out Golke. That guy rules.
Only shoots 8 non-threes all year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
10 out of 20 coming off the bench in their first round matchup they win.
Have you seen this guy on TikTok and he posts them on Twitter? It's a guy who just screams and he analyzes Kentucky games, and he's been calling for Calipari's head the entire year.
A lot of Kentucky fans have.
Well, yeah, and understandably,
Yeah.
we can talk about him more in a second, but he calls him out, and every game he does like an 8 to 12 minute video going through the defensive possessions for Kentucky that are just basic thing. He's like yelling the entire time, like, you put your back to the basket. What are you doing? Body between you and the defender, ball and defender. Like everything he analyzes.
I've not seen this.
He's like, the team's the worst coached defensive team in the country. They have no idea how to operate a defense. I mean, he's like, this is low level high school stuff. I mean, you'd be seeing this at like any high school in the nation knows how to guard like this. This is absolutely pathetic. And to talk about Calipari, I mean, he even his comments after the game where he's like, yeah, I mean, our average age is 19. There's like 24, 25. Like maybe I just need to recruit an old guy to come in here and help us out or something. I don't know. I'm trying to ready these. He keeps the ready for the next level.
Because he's a coach. He's an NBA development coach.
Yes.
That's what Calipari is.
Sure.
His goal is to develop NBA players.
Which is great. Good for the kids.
Great for the kids.
Awful for the program.
That's not how you win championships in college basketball.
No.
Not at all. I mean, you look at the teams like UConn.
Yeah.
It's not all freshmen that are getting drafted in the first round. That's hardly what they are.
Go to a mid-major and make some kid your project.
Yeah.
Go have fun doing that. And have fun if you can win a conference. Like Patino at Iona. Go to an Iona. If you make a tournament, fantastic. No one expects you to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe one of those kids gets his dream come true.
Yeah.
Do that. Because anybody that goes to Kentucky is going to have a shot to make the league regardless.
Mm-hmm.
You're wasting that program's time.
Mr. Mike Boheim has chimed in.
Yeah.
He says Calachiti.
Oh.
Creative.
I like that.
Says UK fans are pissed at Calipari. They want him gone from Kentucky. Yeah, I mean, it gets frustrating. You know, it's great that you can flip on any NBA game and watch a guy that you watched, you know, that played for your team in college. De'Aaron Fox, Anthony Davis, Devin Booker, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The list of these stars from Kentucky go on and on.
Mm-hmm.
One win in the tournament in the last 4 years for Kentucky.
Yeah,
one win in the last 4 years. This is a program that's built on championships.
Where was Coach Cal in our tier list? Do you remember? Was he B or A?
I think he was B.
So do I.
I think we had him B tier.
I'm happy about that now.
Yeah.
Because really, like, if his goal isn't to win championships, and I understand how good of a goal it is to develop kids and make them good, whatever, give them a future, love that. If your goal is not to win championships, you're not a good coach.
Agreed.
I don't care.
And something else, you know, it's great that, you know, he wants to develop these guys. I think that a lot of times these one and dones, they're worse off for it. The money's great, all that. The maturity, the actual development of young minds.
Playing with a team.
That needs time. That needs more time in college to actually to build that.
Yep.
So yeah, I've never been a big fan of Calipari. There's a reason he's on his third job, and it's because there's been a scandal at the rest of them, third or fourth, whatever he's at.
Yep.
And I've never been a big fan of his. I was so happy to see Oakland win, and it was a great game.
Yep.
It was a fantastic game. Like I said, that Golke guy who looks like he's 42 years old, unstoppable. Every time he got the ball. By the way, I want to say it was 4 total dribbles.
Oh,
he had
catch and pop.
Yeah, just catch, shoot, 10 out of 20, call it a day. And I saw a stat. There have been 2 players, or it's happened twice in the last 25 years of the NBA, WNBA, men's and women's college basketball, that a guy shot 23s coming off the bench, and both were him this year.
He just loves to shoot.
It was a regular season game, and that game against Kentucky, and their coach Greg Campy, who's fantastic, been there for 40 years. He saw the tweet and quote tweeted it and said, "Let's make it 3." That's all he just wants him to keep shooting, man.
Yeah, keep him on the bench.
That was his quote when he was interviewed going into the locker room at halftime. They're like, "Yeah, so what's the strategy for the second half?" He goes, "Go keep shooting.
Just keep shooting.
Just keep shooting." I love it.
I mean, it works, I guess, in March. This is it. Thank you, Steph. This is it.
Yeah, I mean, there's always that one guy.
Yep.
We thought it was going to be the guy from Nebraska. No,
it was never him.
It was never.
I'll be honest. Hands up accountability. Never again will I trust Nebraska.
You shouldn't.
No.
Nebraska is a joke of a athletics program right now.
I was happy with Bryce Williams' effort, though. Shot of the Charlotte guard who transferred there.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
His dad was like a Charlotte legacy.
Yeah.
And then he transferred out for his senior year.
That NIL money, man.
You get money. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They can pay you.
We got to take a timeout. We'll be back. More college basketball talk to come here on Outside the Box Score. With me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the Score 1260. For the best local beer in Central New York, the only place you need to look is Myers Creek Brewing Company, with 16 different beers on tap at both the Inner Harbor in Syracuse and the Palace that is the Cazenovia location. Myers Creek has something for everyone. Want a bite to eat? Both locations feature a kitchen with delicious pizzas, some of the best wings in Syracuse, and much more. Make sure to check out our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company, the official bar of Outside the Box Score.
Move Metal in March is happening right now at all McGuire locations.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about the transfers too. Taylor and Copeland.
Yeah.
Remember when SU fans were ticked when SU would lose a first-round game? Now the bar is make the tournament a few times. Yeah, I really do just want to get back to the tournament.
Yeah, I mean,
I miss Syracuse playing in March.
winning 20 games and just now that's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It,
Tough year.
20 games doesn't. That used to be automatically you're in the tournament. It's just not the case anymore.
And now they just value what conference you play in, and apparently you're out of conference schedule.
Yep.
That really matters.
Yeah, conference schedule means nothing.
Mhm.
But if you beat a school for the blind by 50,
Yep.
you're good. It's like McNeese.
McNeese was terrible.
Yeah.
They're University of Women, whatever.
Yeah,
University.
Mississippi University for women, I think.
Yeah. They played really bad. Grand Canyon, though. I
Yeah,
mean,
Grand Canyon was great.
I don't get it. St. Mary's was just better than Gonzaga. So Grand Canyon's just way better. Grand Canyon, by the way, like 55th in Ken Palm.
Yeah.
Very good team.
Mhm.
I say good in quotations
Yeah.
because they're not. I'm like, they
I-
look good. Ken Palm for those schools is tough because we're looking at it, they have like the second best defensive effective field goal percentage in the country. Basically meaning like teams shoot second worst against them in any school.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing nobodies.
Yeah,
Is
nobody.
that them playing lockdown defense, or is that? Yeah, I don't even know what school would play them.
Yeah.
Who isn't making shots? It's so hard to
What
tell.
conference is Grand Canyon?
I literally was just looking at it last night. I couldn't tell you.
I have no idea.
No, I don't know. Are they the same Houston State conference?
Maybe.
Play like same Houston and something else? I don't know.
Jim says SU women pick them today. Don't sleep on Zona. Yeah, we already did. I think we're both on Arizona in that one.
Yeah. Team from better conference. Just
yeah. Jim says maybe they're in the WAC.
Could be. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Got a computer right in front of you, Mark.
I know. I'm using my phone to look it up. Grand Canyon. Yeah, they're in the WAC. They went 30-4 this year.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, but look at look at the WAC and see who they played.
Stephen F. Austin, Cale Baptist,
Yep.
Abilene Christian.
Is that good? Is that good?
No.
I mean, the Dukes, same thing. They win. They at least had some out of conference.
They beat earlier in the year. They beat San Francisco and San Diego State.
Yeah, they had good. San Diego State was overtime, right?
No, regulation, but they beat them 79-73.
Oh, okay. I mean, they have some good out of conference.
Yeah,
the Dukes had out of conference. I get it.
Yeah.
But then you dominate a nobodies, and you're like, I just don't know what to think. Maybe they're good.
Yeah.
Maybe they're actually good.
Maybe they're.
I don't think.
And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Do want to bring up, while we're talking about college basketball, which is pretty much the entire show today.
Mm-hmm.
Phone line's open, by the way, 315-671-1260 if you want to chime in. Do have to mention the transfers out of Syracuse University.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Taylor, we kind of saw coming. The writing was on the wall. No one's too upset about Justin Taylor transferring. Actually, a lot of people were quite happy about it, which...
He's fine. Yeah, it's a fine transfer.
He's fine. There were people, like, adding him on or tagging him on Twitter and stuff and Instagram, like, telling him to transfer, and I hate stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's at the end of the day,
it's a college student.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry this 19-year-old isn't good enough for you and your sports fandom.
Right.
But the one that really hurts, and I couldn't believe it. Quadir Copeland?
I mean,
why?
The only thing I could see is that he's not going to be able to start next year, right?
Yeah, I mean...
And so then I don't know. Like maybe he just wants to go start somewhere. When he probably can. He definitely can.
Oh yeah, he for sure can. He can start at a Power 5 school.
Yeah.
But I just, man,
That's a
losing
tough
Q, that sucks.
He's definitely the most exciting player to watch on Syracuse this year.
For sure. Easily he was the heart of the team. He was the heart and soul of that team. He had the buzzer beater. It's so many great moments
in his 1 year.
and he's gone.
I'm gonna miss him.
I'm gonna miss him a lot. I'll root for him no matter where he goes. I wish him nothing but success. But yeah, it just stinks losing a guy like that. And maybe the more interesting thing is with the guys transferring out, we have yet to hear
anything
about Judah Mintz.
Yeah. Maybe he stays. Maybe he goes to the
Maybe
draft.
he stays. Jim does say, Whittier was here the year prior. He is a sophomore.
Oh, okay.
But we have heard nothing about Judah, and the most recent update is he changed his profile picture on Twitter from just like a close-up picture of his face to him in an SU jersey.
Maybe he's got to finish his story. He comes back.
Maybe he does, and maybe that's why Q leaves. Is if Judah comes back and with
Starling.
Starling, and then we're gonna have Westry coming off the bench next year, Donnie Freeman coming in. Like there's sort of no place for him.
Yeah,
and it sucks. And I would have loved to see. I would have liked him to be the starting point guard. But yeah. So in memoriam, Whittier Copeland's time at Syracuse, 2 years. R.I.P. to the sideburns.
Yes,
I'm gonna miss those really strange, kind of
ugly
sideburns. Going back to tournament talk, we talked to Auburn Yale. Another really fun game from the other day. Duquesne taking down BYU. Another great upset. Did you have BYU?
No, that's just a toughie to watch. Like the whole story leading in was like Duquesne's really bad at guarding the three. They're really good defense, but they can't guard threes.
Yep.
On the other side, BYU really good at shooting threes.
Yeah.
In that game, couldn't hit a basket. They had plenty of open shots, and they just could never cut the deficit. These are just, this is March. Like we talked about, I think off air before we got on, where it's like there's not a single stat in the world that could tell you that Duquesne was going to beat BYU or Yale over Auburn. Like, this is the excitement.
Grand Canyon over St. Mary's, same thing. Like it's
every analytic tells you that they're just worse.
I will say as well, the Mountain West stinks.
Yeah,
I mean,
Utah State's good.
Utah State's sure. That's fine. Colorado State scores 44 points against Texas. Gets clamped. New Mexico, everyone's favorite Cinderella pick, the Lobos.
Yep.
Clemson makes easy work of them yesterday.
Never a game.
Felt
bad. Nunez was on the Lobos. I was on the other side the entire game.
Was he on the Lobos?
Didn't say a word. I was just like, it's going good. Don't look at the score.
San Diego State squeaks a win out against UAB, and now they've got Yale, so they're looking like, okay, maybe they can advance unless Yale just continues to play like they did yesterday.
Yep.
But just all in all this talk about the Mountain West, and it was a 6-bid league this year.
Yeah. People gave them a lot of respect.
It's a 2-bid league.
I mean, maybe the conference just isn't that good. That's what that question needs to be. And but if we're doing that, what about the SEC? The SEC's look pretty bad too. Outside of
that's true.
A&M and Bama, who even Bama, they just outrun. Their defense is really bad.
It's atrocious.
91 to Charleston?
96 to Charleston, excuse you.
I don't know what to say. Nunez continues to tell me Bama over. I'm like, I just don't like it. Like, they should just be better.
It's always the Bama over.
I get it. I'm sorry. I didn't ride. I'm not just doing things for whatever, but I think I have to now. They just literally they refuse to slow down. Maybe playing a game a day after the other will affect that. I doubt it.
I doubt it. And
They're
then
just better athletes than, especially at this stage, like these early schools. And I'm sure Grand Canyon will not be able to keep up with Bama.
no, I don't know what team can keep up with Bama.
UNC certainly. I mean, they like to move it too. I mean,
Yeah.
that should be a fun watch if they both make it. But even then, that line's like 3.5. Mark, Michigan State's 3.5-point
I
dogs
know.
today.
I know.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
It's Izzo, man.
It's Izzo. He's got the better defense. If they can slow the pace, they can kind of control the game.
Mm-hmm.
You tend to think better teams control it, so it'd be up pace. Can they keep up? Probably not.
Yeah.
Just gonna depend. I mean, it's such a tight line.
The total in the Bama game Sunday is 169.
It opened at 171.5.
Going down?
It opened it, so they opened it 5-point favorites. We saw it immediately last night. 5-point favorites, 171.5. By the time Austin and me got on, it was 5.5 and 172.5. And now it's come down 3 points basically from there.
Wow. That's
interesting.
insane.
I don't like to hear that.
I don't know. I've never heard of a Bama total going down.
Yeah, I actually hate that, to be quite frank.
Maybe that's just on your book, Jim. I don't know.
Well, that DraftKings is where that opened.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying his total, like he's seeing 169 because that is, he says that's on an offshore. There it is.
That's probably better though. Sometimes for this, they probably get more. I mean, maybe Jim bets a lot. Maybe he's a big.
FanDuel's got it at 168.5.
Oh, buddy,
that's wild.
I gotta text my insider.
Yeah. Well, while you do that, we're gonna take a timeout. Be right back here on Outside the Box Score. Like I said, phone line's open if you want to chime in. 315-671-1260. It's 315-671-1260. If you're a fan of local craft beer, the only place you need to go is Myers Creek Brewing Company with 16 brews on tap at both the Cazenovia and Inner Harbor locations. Myers Creek has the best selection of locally brewed libations in all of central New York. Want a nice hazy IPA? The Velvet Fog is a must-try. More of a traditional Pilsner, how about the Floatin' on By? And for you sour drinkers, the It Takes Blue to Mango. So crack open a cold one with the official beer of Outside the Box Score, Myers Creek.
Keep your income tax return. You worked hard for it. At Mattress Express, we're not only going to pay the sales tax for you, but qualified customers get $0 down and up to 5 years interest-free on select luxury king and queen sets like the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort, Posh and Lavish, and more.
I'm Joe Serio of Top Tier Roofing. When you hire Top Tier Roofing, we don't just put on your roof. We use the best quality materials available and second-to-none workmanship. Customer satisfaction is our priority from the start of each job to the end, so we build long-standing customer relationships. We're not
that line does not make any sense.
That's why we're CNY's go-to residential roofing experts.
So they
Schedule
move up
a free
a point
estimate
in the...
right from our website at Top Tier Roofing,
CNY.
Yeah.
Total's going to be
call
8.
us at 315.
Yeah, I can check and see what they got at right now.
We'll treat your home like our own. Top Tier Roofing.
They move up a line implying
this
that
hour
they
is
think
brought to you by
Alabama's really
Syracuse
going to win by
Homes.
more.
Join the Syracuse
better
bets and
control it
visit
and all this.
Syracuse.
What do you think
for
Alabama's
Eclipse
total is
of
at?
the Park, April 8th
6
at
points.
NBT Bank Stadium. Gates open at 2 p.m. Fans receive free ISO
87 and a
certified
half.
Eclipse glasses. Astrophysicist Dr. Meredith
does it make
Wills will
sense?
It
join
doesn't.
fans for
81
this
is-
once-in-a-lifetime
well, yeah.
event. The Eclipse happens at 3:23 p.m.
Oh, well,
Then
yeah.
fans
Yeah,
can
could they
enjoy
have-
Dollar
Nunez
Monday
keeps telling
food and
me they
drink
scored
specials
91 a
and a
game.
505 game against the Red Sox. Total Eclipse of the
87.
Park, April 8th at NBT Bank Stadium. Get your tickets now.
The Wise Women's Business Center believes in the economic power of women business owners. The Wise WBC empowers women small business owners through comprehensive training programs, no-cost small business coaching, and strategic connections.
That is a
Whether
wild
you're in
line
the
to
first
make
stages
for
of starting your
quality
business
Yeah.
or you have an established company looking to grow to the next level, the Wise Women's Business Center can help connect you with the resources you need. Visit wisecenter.org to check out all the programs and
I do like
services
getting
the
on the
Wise
spread,
Women's
though. I think
Business
Bama
Center
just
can
runs off.
provide your
Yeah, I
business.
agree. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the score 1260. It's funny because we're going to get into some gambling talk here in a second.
Mhm.
But before we do, there's another story involving gambling that I want to bring up.
Yes, please.
Ipe, Shohei Ohtani's interpreter. This has the potential to be disastrous for Major League Baseball.
I don't know how. Like the MLB's been completely silent.
Yeah, they quietly announced yesterday at 6 p.m. on a Friday during March Madness that they started an investigation.
Okay, good.
Talk about a news dump.
Yeah. right in prime time of the
Yeah.
March Madness tournament. Yeah, great. Good on them.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even hear that.
Yeah.
They need to, because you got to get to the bottom of it. And even if it is fully Ipe being all the gambling, which if you think that, sure, be glad to think that. I'd like to know, and Nunez was telling me, he said it's a lot of soccer and football bets.
Yeah.
Sure. If he was betting baseball at any time, and at any time Shohei used his money to pay this bookie,
yep,
that's a problem.
Yeah,
Regardless
that's a massive problem.
Regardless if it was him gambling, even if you could prove that, which I don't know you can. That's a real big problem.
That's where the worry is because it seems like Ohtani's fairly open about the fact that he helped him pay like
$4.5 million.
Well, apparently $1 million.
Oh, okay.
It seems like Ohtani helped with $1 million, and he stole the other 3.5.
I see.
Jim says, "What kind of bookie gives a guy that much credit?" I agree.
Right.
And apparently, Ipe's just a terrible gambler.
Well, I assume he's got to have a lot of different accounts and whatever. But you don't get that high of a limit without having it, and I don't know how much this dude's making a year. That's why, again, I think it's got to be somewhat Ohtani.
He makes between $350,000 and $450,000 a year.
Can you afford to bet millions?
No.
Like, even losing, like, I could see betting your salary in a year. You're a true degenerate,
you
bet your whole salary. He'd have to have lost for over 12 years, doing that, or 9 years. Or that's. I mean, I don't want to just throw the conspiracies out here. Shohei's got to be involved, and even if it's not baseball, just the idea of having baseball's biggest star making a payment towards an illegal booking site, is really bad. And I'm sure there's got to be some sort of suspension or fine. Or something.
And we do have to make sure. And Jim, you just said it, and Jim just pointed it out as well. Illegal book. This is to a bookie.
Even
not to, there's no legal sports betting in California.
That's the point. Yeah.
Also, your dad's just yelling about Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame.
Sure.
Fine. I'm not going to argue.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue.
Yeah, we're on you.
But out of all the players that this could have happened to,
it's their newest star.
It had to be Shohei. Really?
Yeah.
It had to be the guy that it does things that no one's done in 100 years. It kills me, man.
Just as you think, to talk as baseball as a whole, just as you think they're making a turn, they've got a true star, a global star. He's come in. I mean, it couldn't even have been. I mean, even Acuna would have been less bad. Yeah. Another top star, Tatis, Soto, anybody.
I mean, Tatis just added to the laundry list.
Well, right. Exactly.
Steroids and motorcycle crashes.
Yeah.
But
it's a bad look.
It's a bad look. And like you said, I don't want to just start spouting conspiracy theories, but based on what I've read, I don't think there's any way Shohei didn't know about some of this.
Hypothetically. I like a hypothetical. You like hypothetical?
I love a hypothetical.
Okay. Hypothetically, it was their account, and Shohei had made bets, not on baseball, to an illegal bookie. Any sort of fine, any sort of suspension.
I think you have to suspend him.
Just for gambling in an illegal book.
Yeah.
Baseball bets.
Sorry.
Lifetime?
That's the rule, man. Like your dad was saying, Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame, and I don't disagree.
Yeah.
It's the cardinal sin of
baseball. He is the poster boy of what you can't do. Yes.
Yeah, but it's always been the cardinal sin of baseball is do not bet on baseball.
Who better to, by the way, if he was betting on Angels games or Dodgers games, who better to tank a game than a guy who pitches
And
bats.
hits.
I mean, if you're just the pitcher, you still got a decent shot at it. But if you can guarantee 2-3 strikeouts from the 3-hole,
Yeah, I saw someone say, I knew something was fishy when Shohei went 0 for 3 against the A's. But yeah, it's if it is baseball and if Shohei was involved.
yeah, even not his own team, right? Like you're
Yeah,
saying,
it's
even if
just
he was,
baseball.
yes,
And obviously Rose bet on Reds games, and
Yeah,
that's even worse.
yes,
But you just can't bet on baseball.
Yeah.
It's like that in every sport.
right. The NFL doesn't let you even bet anything. You're not supposed to bet anything.
Not on team property
Yes,
or league property. You can do it in your own time,
sure.
but you can't bet like it
Around
from
the
the team
facility.
facility. Yeah.
And certainly not on football.
No, it's every sport. You can't bet on your sport. And your dad says, "Come on, he bet them to win." LOL. I'm not saying that he didn't, but you certainly can't bet on your own team.
Yeah, even then, it's still crazy.
Yeah.
Whether you're rooting for him and thinking it's still crazy.
It's absurd because all it takes is one day you're down bad enough and you bet your team to lose and you keep that pitcher in an extra inning.
Yeah.
Or you don't pinch hit when you should. Or you pinch hit for a guy who's 2 for 3 with a home run.
Yeah.
And like there's so many reasons why it's the cardinal sin. And I hope to God that we don't see a lifetime ban for Shohei. But it's really
Have any Dodger teammates like talked about? I'm sure they're not allowed, like supposed to, so they haven't. Like nobody's mentioned it. Or really any.
no. Yeah, I assume the gag order's on.
Yeah.
Because and like I said, they news dumped this investigation last night. They announced it at 6 p.m. on a Friday during the NCAA tournament.
They don't want you to think about it.
No, they don't want you to think about it at all.
Rightfully so.
We have heard not a peep from Rob Manfred.
It's gonna really hurt baseball.
If he is found guilty in this investigation, I don't know what brings it back.
How does that work for a contract? Like if the Dodgers, they owe him $700 million, he
They-
gets a lifetime ban.
Voided.
Voided?
Yeah.
That's nice. That's a plus.
Yeah, I mean that's nice.
Sure.
Jim brings some. What about former Angels teammates?
Mm-hmm.
What about Trout?
Yeah.
Like
I want to hear from him.
yeah,
They had to. They were in the locker room with this guy for what, 3 years?
yeah. Did they know?
Was everyone in on it? As
yeah.
they were the worst team in baseball with all this talent.
You can't. No one will tell me that Anthony Rendon doesn't bet on the Angels,
Well, I mean,
specifically to lose.
He only plays about 40, 50 games a year. What's he gonna do in
Exactly.
his off time?
He's got 110 free days during baseball season. Jim says if Ohtani is suspended, is it only his $2 million salary? Yeah. I mean, if he's suspended for a year,
It's not the deferred.
yeah, it's not the deferred. It would be the $2 million, which also that contract now.
Looks pretty genius.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing that I saw going in Ohtani's favor, and Nunez pointed this out to me, which I kind of get, but also like he supplements so much of his salary now with endorsements and sponsorships.
He is
and other
the
things.
highest paid baseball player
Right.
with a $2 million salary
Exactly.
because of endorsements. He makes like $67 million on endorsements.
Exactly. So like this is where his isn't. But he pointed out, he's like, who defers that much money if you're a degenerate gambler? And I'm like, because he already has.
He's got
60
the
mil-
money.
like, yeah, I was like, he
Yeah.
already has so much money. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter. When he loses this, he's gonna need this after retirement to keep him
Yeah.
afloat. I don't know. Again, hopefully, he wasn't gambling.
Yeah. And
Regardless,
I'm
something.
not even saying like if he is involved in this.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying he is the degenerate. I firmly believe Ipe that he is a degen and a terrible gambler.
Sure.
It's
Sure.
but it's just, did he ever place a bet through an illegal book? We need to
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
And hopefully they find nothing. I hope they find that Ipe
How-
is just a scumbag.
How stupid do you have to be to make that transfer
I know.
to the bookmaker? Like, what do you do? Like, if you were gonna gamble
Mhm.
or help your buddy gambling,
Mhm.
how are you not just getting that in cash somehow or doing something like I know million's a lot to come up with cash, but like you got to transfer it somewhere else, not
Yeah.
the bookmaker. What are you doing?
Like,
What are you-
and Jim says, well, who hasn't placed a bet with an illegal book? I'm
Sure.
not saying I'm innocent. Like, I had a bookie. I know you have had bookies.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, yeah, that's what we did before
He
it
brings
was
up a good
legal.
point. We're being kind of bootlickery here. Everyone does it. I get it, but that's the rules.
Yeah, we're not in a situation
Yeah,
where it would cost us everything
right. I
if
get a
we
slap
did
on the
this.
wrist.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about my $50 transactions.
No. Like, it's no one cares about, the average person doing it.
Yeah.
And Jim says, aren't offshore books technically illegal? Sign someone who may or may not use one. Yes.
Yeah. For sure.
We've both used them as well.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. But yeah, we're not in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to fire me from here
Right.
for placing a bet through a bookie. I'm sure there's other people here that do that.
Right.
What?
Now, there is like one thing where like even if you've worked Syracuse Mets games, that's a no-no, right? Like if you work for that team,
Yes.
you're not supposed to bet on them.
Yeah. So I know like Evan and Michael.
Yeah, the actual
Yeah, they can't bet on baseball
at all.
at all.
Okay.
They're not allowed to bet on baseball. They can bet,
Sure.
and they do.
Right.
But
Just not baseball.
they're not allowed to bet on baseball,
Mhm.
which I
That
agree.
makes sense.
You're an employee of a professional baseball team.
Mhm.
It's one of those things. I don't work for the team. I work for the station.
So
I'm in the clear.
Yeah.
But I can bet on baseball, but yeah, they can't. Yeah, it's any employee of an organization is not allowed.
yeah, I think we just gotta see more info coming out. Hopefully, Otani's not dead. boy.
I hope not. Jim said the offshore book is the only way to bet the SU women, which true.
Yeah.
You can't bet Syracuse sports in New York, which I still think that's stupid.
Yeah.
And your dad said, without illegal bets, where else would you get great betting lines on international volleyball?
That's true. That was a real good glitch that was there for a while.
Yep.
Thank you.
I remember you telling me about that.
Rolled up a lot.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
And speaking of offshore books,
Yep.
It's time to look at the lines when we come back.
Yep.
We'll be right back here on Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the Score 1260. For the best local beer in Central New York, the only place you need to look is Myers Creek Brewing Company, with 16 different beers on tap at both the Inner Harbor in Syracuse and the Palace that is the Cazenovia location. Myers Creek has something for everyone. Want a bite to eat? Both locations feature a kitchen with delicious pizzas, some of the best wings in Syracuse, and much more. Make sure to check out our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company, the official bar of Outside the Box Score.
We're heating up.
Yeah, I only have 3 like starred betting pits.
Yeah.
Honestly, I like a lot of overs, but then we were getting to a point where I'm like, just pick the ones you like. You can't bet every over. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of silly, especially come tournament time. Sweating out an under yesterday though.
What game?
First half under UAB under 30.5 points. They had 28 with 53 seconds left. And they missed a 3-pointer,
Mhm.
and then guy had a shot for 2 free throws. He made 1.
Ah,
So it was good.
Yeah.
I mean, we had the 30.5 anyways, but it was
that's
never
a
down.
sweat.
Adam had Palmer had 29.5. So he would
Ooh.
have made both. He was dead and we
Yeah,
were
he
good.
was dead.
He missed the first, so didn't matter. But unders are just way sweatier. Because even Nunez had the Northwestern FAU over, which was dead.
Mhm.
I told him 3 minutes into the game, or not that early, but it was
Yeah.
dead. They get to overtime, and it only lost by like 2 points.
Mhm.
My mother's calling me. I mean, I'm doing the show. If she... Okay.
Jim says Hobart plus 10.5 against Syracuse men in lacrosse. I wouldn't bet against SU right now. That's for sure.
They're still hot.
Yeah.
Now, interesting tidbit here about my mom calling me.
Mhm.
I was supposed to go to Pennsylvania at some point to possibly help my grandparents move,
Mhm.
and then she never told me yes or no. So
Mhm.
now I'm going to Syracuse. And obviously, I'm here.
Yeah.
And now she might just call me back down to PA right now. I'd be very upset.
Yeah, I mean,
That'd be pretty annoying.
you die on the drive.
It's on the throughway wasn't too bad.
Mm-hmm.
The streets of Syracuse are a mess.
They're awful.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's been here it didn't just happen this morning. It's been all night,
Yeah.
right? What are we doing? We pay bootlickers for a reason. Get out there.
Yeah, it's real bad out there.
Yeah, I was shocked. Real bad. I'm even worried where we park. I'm pretty sure you got the red Chevy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right in front of you.
Yeah.
But I was like, even we're right on the snowbank. I'm like, tires better get moving.
Oh yeah,
when we get out of there.
we might be screwed.
Yeah.
And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Going to go through the games we've got today in men's college basketball.
Mhm.
What is it? It's 8 games today.
That's right.
8 games tomorrow. March Madness tournament. Go through some of the lines. Josh, you said you've got 3 picks.
Yep.
What are your favorite picks of the day?
All right. We start with Dayton and Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona's a very fast-paced team.
Mm-hmm.
Dayton, not as fast, but extremely efficient on offense.
Yeah.
One of the best
One of
three-point
the
shooting
slower
teams in the country.
paces in the tournament, actually, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Dayton?
They're pretty slow.
Yeah.
It's an idea of better team controls the tempo.
Mm-hmm.
They keep it up pace, kind of like Auburn and Yale yesterday with that over.
Yeah.
The better team's going to control the pace, and Yale's an efficient offense. They should keep scoring, and they did.
Mm-hmm.
So similar mindset, 149.5 over in Arizona Dayton. 2 really good offenses, and it should be a high-paced game.
I like that. One of my favorite picks, just get it out of the way.
Mhm.
Texas, Tennessee.
Yep.
I love Tennessee on the number 6.5.
Yeah.
Texas did not impress me at all
Yeah.
in their first game. And Tennessee, I think, is just a much better team. Great defensively. I expect, and Tennessee can get out and run too.
Yep.
And I think if they get out and run, I think this could be a 10-point game.
Austin, of course, our friend, very big Texas fan. That's his worry. Teams like that do very well against Texas. As a respect bet for him in that, we stayed off.
Yep.
He's going to be on Texas, just fan-wise,
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, I like Tennessee too. And Texas looked good in the first half, but then they got complacent and kind of let Colorado State back into that game for no reason. Could be a close game. I don't really see. I like Tennessee there too.
Yeah. What else you got?
Next one. This is second bet. My favorite bet of the day, I guess I should say, the biggest one ever, is it's a home game for Iowa State.
Yep.
Against Washington State. Washington State rebounds very well. That could give them some trouble. Good offensive rebounds, get a lot of boards. They're pretty tall. Houston, man, defensively, they're just absolute juggernauts, forcing turnovers, blocks, all of the above. They're really good defensively. For a home game for them too. Again, playing in Nebraska, it's like 15 miles from the stadium or whatever from where they play. I absolutely love Iowa State at 6.5. I'm a little worried that the number's so low, but even looking at like future projections and stuff, I don't see Washington State winning at all. So I'll take Iowa State minus 6.5.
And I'll throw one out there. It's another over. Oakland, NC State.
Yep.
That one's at 146.5. I tend to like that over.
Yep.
Oakland obviously just gets out and shoots. We saw that the other night.
For sure.
NC State can do the same thing. They can keep up with a lot of teams on the offensive end. Get DJ Burns inside. He's going to have a field day against a lack of size in Oakland. Burns is going to be he might have 30 points today.
Yeah, both teams are going to get shots in that game.
Yeah.
I'm staying away, but I don't hate that. Yep.
And you said you had 3. What was the third one?
Last one is it's a question of pace. I was debating whether or not just to take the points with Kansas because I think Kansas wins outright today. But I have the over 150.5 there, 151.5, sorry, with Gonzaga, Kansas. 2 really good offensive teams, should be high pacing. Both teams love to drive the paint. This was a similar bet with Utah State TCU last night. Both teams just get all their points down low. They love to run and gun. Maybe some fouls come in. Kansas really good from the stripe. That's the idea there. That just teams keep running, drive the lane, get fouls, easy twos.
I love that over. I hadn't even thought about that. That's a big fan of that.
Yeah.
We got to take one more time out. We'll come back, wrap things up here on Outside the Box Score. With me, Mark Rowlands. If you're a fan of local craft beer, the only place you need to go is Myers Creek Brewing Company with 16 brews on tap at both the Cazenovia and Inner Harbor locations. Myers Creek has the best selection of locally brewed libations in all of central New York. Want a nice hazy IPA? The Velvet Fog is a must-try. More of a traditional Pilsner, how about the Floatin' on By? And for you sour drinkers, the It Takes Blue to Mango. So crack open a cold one with the official beer of Outside the Box Score, Myers Creek.
Injury crash, 2-door, 4-door, SUV, motorcycle, big truck.
Yeah.
William Attar,
Instead,
we're New York's
I
largest
did
motor
like a
vehicle accident
teaser-ish
firm,
type thing. I
helping
took
those
Illinois
injured
minus
in New
4
York State.
and
If
Iowa
a
State
crash
money line.
caused the death
Oh,
of a
okay.
loved one,
Yeah, I like
call
that.
William
Minus
Attar,
115.
the
Yeah.
largest motor vehicle accident firm in the state.
I have
Call
all
William
those in the
Attar,
parlay right now. Five picks we gave.
Yeah.
315-444-4444. South State
There's a
Street,
DraftKings
Syracuse.
boost
315-444-4444.
for 100% profit boost if you get 10 legs.
The
But 10
wait
legs, you have to
is
involve back-to-back
almost
games.
over.
Oh,
This
there's a
Friday,
50%
the
profit
Syracuse
boost
Mets
on
kick off their
on
2024 season
there you
on
go.
a Craft Beer Friday at 2:05 against the Red Wings. Gather your family, rally your friends, and join the celebration. Come early and tailgate. Gates open at noon. The first 1,500 fans receive a Mets winter hat, courtesy of Gannon Pest Control. There's no better way to jumpstart your weekend than opening day with the Syracuse
Yeah, I've been doing well,
Mets.
too.
Get your
Outside of
tickets and
Nebraska
see
yesterday,
you
which was a
there.
bad bet.
Let's
where
blow
I-
away child
I had
abuse
2
together
units
in
on it, and I
Onondaga
put
County
3
with the
before the
McMahon
game
Ryan Child
again.
Advocacy Center by
And,
planting your
that
collage of
bet
blue
I'm still up
pinwheels
like
in your own
6
front yards.
Nice.
Go to McMahonRyan.org
I'm up
/events and order your pinwheels today for your company or for your home.
8.5
And let's
minutes.
turn Syracuse
Pretty
blue
good.
together. You can make a difference in
Well,
one
you
child's
bet
life now
the
during
dollars.
this month
Yeah.
of April for
Yeah,
National
I
Child Abuse
love betting
Prevention
dollars.
Month. Order your pinwheels at McMahonRyan.org /events. Go blue for kids. And let's blow away child abuse together in Onondaga County.
And we're back, wrapping up another fun-filled hour here on Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. It was just looking, got myself a little 50% profit boost on FanDuel, and I put all those picks that we just put together in the previous segment. It was the over in Dayton, Arizona. That's 148.5. Tennessee minus 6.5. Iowa State minus 6.5, over 146.5 in Oakland, NC State, and over 152.5 in Gonzaga and Kansas. Throw that 50% profit boost on there. That gets it up to plus 34.98. Beautiful, beautiful little sprinkle play for me today. And of course, got to throw a $5 on that. When I can win potentially $175 on a $5 bet, you have to. My favorite, I was saying, you said your favorite play of the day was which one? Was it the
Iowa State?
Oh, Iowa State. So you're taking Iowa State minus 6.5. My favorite play of the day is probably Illinois on the number as
10,
well.
yeah.
9.5.
I like it. I mean, Duquesne's just not good. They shouldn't be able to score and keep up with Illinois.
Yeah.
They keep the pace up. Maybe Duquesne can't actually guard as well either, and Illinois is just better. Illinois is just way better. But this is March, man. Anything can happen.
Yeah, anything can happen. Been fun as always talking to you. I just put together the official. We'll call it the outside the box score parlay. The official one is Iowa State on the number and Illinois on the number. It's plus 250.
Love that.
Just quick little 2-legger.
Sure.
Get some action on it.
Follow.
Hope everyone out there wins all of their bets. I'm always rooting for people to win all their bets. Why not us? Why can't we just win our bets?
Why not?
And Jim says, true. Shout out Quincy Guerrier on Illinois, former Syracuse basketball player.
All
so
right.
there you go. There's your rooting interest for Illinois, the Fighting Illini today.
The orange.
Josh, thank you for being here. Thank you to everyone in the chat. We'll be back next week, same time, same channel, 11 a.m. right here on the Score 1260. Peace.